Hi guys, I hope you're good today. So let us quickly have a look at US Tech, aka Nasdaq 100. I have the weekly chart open, and we can see that actually Friday's candle closed as a liquidity candlestick. It is a bearish candlestick with a small body and a long lower wick, which means that where that candle actually ends, we have a whole lot of liquidity sitting down there, and that in the next week or so we might see price coming back to this level again just to grab that liquidity before actually pushing up, because at this point in time the indication is that we might start seeing US Tech moving further up. Over and above that candlestick, we also have this one over here, which is from about 4 weeks ago. It is also a liquidity candlestick and is carrying a whole lot of liquidity at that level. And as much as I say that Friday's candlestick is carrying liquidity at this level and that price should come back to this level, what may actually happen is price may actually move further down to this level as well to trigger that liquidity, and then maybe from there start to move up, right? So that's the indication. That's what I'm hoping to see over the next coming days or weeks. So let's see. So what else do we see on this weekly chart of Nasdaq 100? So we had spoken about in previous videos the fact that we have an information in the structure, or rather in that range, with a neckline there. Price broke the neckline, then went back to retest it, and we looked for further selling opportunities there, and then we saw price push further down. Currently, can you guys see that Nasdaq 100 is in the process on the weekly chart of forming an overextended W structure, with the neckline being somewhere in that region. So because we have this W, I can tell you now that a lot of investors and traders have started to buy in this region, which means that there's a whole lot of, or rather there are a whole lot of stop losses that are in this area down here. And what we may see happen in the future is that price may go up to the neckline and then bounce off here, because the neckline is now a very strong area of resistance, because we had a touch over here and we had a rejection over here, and in the future price may bounce over here and push further down to this level to grab all of those stop losses. And once those stop losses have been triggered, we might see price start to move further up or even further down, because actually on the monthly chart we have a very, or rather we have a liquidity candlestick right at the bottom. If I can just go there just to show it to you, we have this candlestick as well. It's also very much important, and we need to keep in the back of our minds that we have a whole lot of liquidity sitting here, um, and that the market may come to that level. Similarly, we also have this candlestick over here, which is carrying a whole lot of liquidity. So as much as I say that we have stop losses in this region, we also have liquidity here because of this candlestick over here, which is a bearish candlestick with a small body and a long lower wick. Anyway, just to go back to the weekly chart, here we are on the weekly chart, and let's continue. So in as far as the neckline of this W structure is concerned, it is still pretty much far off. And me personally, I will take this W structure more seriously once price breaks above this particular neckline. And that is because when it comes to W structures, ideally what I would love to see is price breaking the neckline and then coming back to the neckline to retest it, in which case I would look for further buying opportunities, right? That's what I would love to see. Nonetheless, let's keep moving forward. Just also bear in mind that I had also spoken about this candlestick in previous videos, which is also a liquidity candlestick. And what it says is that we might see price also possibly doing something like this to trigger the liquidity that's sitting at that level as well. And just also bear in mind that this level is also a very strong area of resistance, because we had a rejection here, a rejection there, and we might in the future see price rejecting that level as well. So what I'm gonna do actually now is just plot my resistance level, which is let's see, which is here. There goes our resistance level, and as I said, guys, we have this W, and price may actually bounce here and then push further down to trigger all of those stop losses that are sitting down here, due to the fact that a lot of people bought at that region, right? Also, this resistance level is also the neckline of that M structure that we have been speaking about over the last couple of weeks. Anyway, let's proceed. So from here, what I'm gonna do is head down to the daily chart. Let's see, daily chart. There we go. The daily chart. Here we are on the daily chart. So what do we see on this daily chart that is interesting? In fact, before we get into the nitty-gritties of the daily chart, I'm just gonna start first of all by adding a channel. Let's see. There goes my channel. Just bear with me while I add my channel. So there goes my daily channel, guys. More or less. Let's see. There goes the channel. Okay, that's fine. There we go. Let's see. So what do we see here on this daily chart? On the daily chart, and also in previous videos, we had spoken about this M over here, and I said that the neckline of this M is yet to be tested. And I had also mentioned that it is not important at the time because it was still pretty much far off, right? So we might see price actually bouncing off at that level as well. It's also a possibility. We just need to keep it in the back of our minds. But the most important level, in my humble opinion, is this level over here, which I spoke about on the weekly chart. And that is because we have a whole lot of touches at that level, and we might see another touch in the future because it is a very strong resistance level. And once price touches here again or rejects this level, we might see it pushing further down, as I had described, right? So what else do we see on this chart that is interesting that we should be paying very close attention to? We also have this candlestick over here. It's a bearish candlestick with a whole lot of liquidity just below where it ends. Yeah, so that also tells us that the market has to come back to grab some liquidity, right? Also, another thing that is very, very important is this trend line over here. It's very important. Can you guys see that price has now closed on this side? Has now closed on the outside of that, or rather of this channel. So what that indicates is that we may be getting ready to see price move further up, right? And as I said, guys, because we have on the weekly chart that huge W formation, a lot of people have been buying in this region. A lot of people have been buying in this region, right? So all those buyers may push price to at least this level over here. That's what may happen in the future, right? Or within the next couple of days and weeks, that price reaches this point, right? Yeah, so let's continue. Is there anything else of interest that we see on this particular chart? I don't think so. So what I'm going to do from here is head down to the H4 chart. Let's see. I'm just going to fix my channel. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so here we are on the H4 chart. And what do we see on this H4 chart? I'm just going to add my channel on the H4 chart as well, Just bear with me. Let's see. There we go. And I just need to ensure that it is as accurate as possible in as far as the dimensions go. I'm just going to make it a different color as well so that it stands out from the channel that we had drawn on the daily chart. Let's see, I'll make it a purple. There we go. Yeah, so there goes our H4 chart. So we can see that our H4 chart, or rather the H4 chart is in an uptrend. As much as that's the case, can you guys also see that the market is almost sort of moving sideways? Nonetheless, it is in an uptrend, nonetheless, because it's creating higher highs and higher lows, right? But as I said, guys, because of this trend line over here, which has been broken, which is the daily trend line or the daily channel, we're likely to see price push up at least to that level over here, which is a resistance level. Anyway, let's get straight into the nitty-gritties of this H4 chart. So what do we see on this chart that is interesting? So on this chart, I see a whole lot of liquidity candlesticks. There's one here, right? There's another one there, right? There's another one here. Let's see. I see another one here. So as I said, guys, there's scope for price to actually move down because there's so much liquidity trapped downstairs, or rather down. Not just because we have those liquidity candlesticks, but also because we have those stop losses that I spoke about that are in this region. So nonetheless, we will see price move further down to collect that money or that liquidity at one point or another, right? So let's continue. So another thing that I see here is the fact that we have a W formation in the structure with the neckline being there. Price broke the neckline, but we're yet to see it come back to the neckline to retest it, and if it does so, we will be looking for further buying opportunities. However, as much as we have that W structure, we also have an M structure in this region with a neckline somewhere there. Price had broken that neckline, went back to retest it, and then pushed down. So we would have looked in the past for further selling opportunities at that point. Nonetheless, this M structure at this point in time, in my humble opinion, is not that important because it has played itself out. Because if you look at it actually, let's see, this is the actual structure. So it has played itself out. So it's complete. Anyway, let's proceed. So the next thing that I'm going to do is just add a neckline to the W structure, because the anticipation is that price has to come back to the neckline of this W structure, to retest it. And if it does do that, we will look for possible buying opportunities. I'm not saying that we should buy just by virtue of price retracing back to this neckline. I'm saying should price get back to the neckline, we will be looking for possible buying opportunities. We will be looking for other reasons why we should be buying. That's what I mean. Anyway, let's proceed. Yeah, so that is it as far as the H4 chart is concerned. I had also spoken about this M structure over here, and I said that we might see price coming to that level to just test that M structure. But the most important level, as I said, is this level over here, which is a very strong resistance level, right? So, in short, guys, I would love to see price come back to the neckline to retest it and push further up to this level over here where we have that resistance structure. So that is it in as far as my analysis of US tech goes. Cheers, guys.